What's good, R&B squad? This is out of Ruth. I trust that this message meets you guys in good spirits. If you're new to this family, we don't believe that you're here by accident. Welcome. We're happy to have you, and Jesus is, of course, always happier. So, the word I have today comes from a dream that I had, and I should mention this before I get into the details of the dream. Please do not run away with this before you find out from God for sure whether or not it is for you. There are some very serious details in here, including a time frame. So make sure that you take it back to God and figure out whether or not it truly is for you. And if there are some things that you hear that you can relate to and some things that you can't relate to, you guys know how we do it here. Eat the meat, spit out the bone, take what's for you, and leave the rest. So in the first scene of the dream, there was a woman sitting and she was looking at a calendar. And as she was looking at the calendar, I saw the words, within a few weeks to a month. And then the woman, as she looked at the calendar, said, by the grace of God. So again, there was this woman, she was sitting looking at a calendar. The calendar had the words, within a few weeks to a month, written on it. And the woman, as she looked at this calendar and looked at these words, said, by the grace of God. And then the scene switched. Now I'm going to tell y'all what that means in a minute. It is multi-layered. I'm going to come back to that. The scene switches, and I notice that there is this person looking at what appears to be an abandoned property. Now, this abandoned property did not look like an abandoned property for all intents and purposes. It was in excellent condition. The only thing it needed was some paint. It needed just an extra coat of paint, and that was it. But other than that, it was ready to be moved into. Not only that, as the person was standing there looking at it, I was able to perceive what that person was thinking. And that person was thinking, this is in an ideal spot. This is a familiar place. I'm familiar with this area. I pass by here all the time. All that I need to do is move in. And that was the end of that scene. So I'm going to explain the first scene and then I'm going to explain the second scene. The first scene, again, like I said, it is multi-layered. For those of you whom the within a few weeks to a month part of the word is for, and by the grace of God, there is something that you have been waiting for. For some of you, you've been waiting to make a move from one place to another. For others of you, you have been waiting to be reconciled with someone. This could be a love interest, it could be a family member, it could be a close friend that you are now estranged from. For others of you, this is in regards to your finances. For others of you, it is in regards to a career move, a business move. And the Lord particularly emphasized that for some of you, it is a marriage word. So this is about your union. This could mean that you are going to come together with your person in one way or the other, either through communication and reuniting, or some of you are going to go into a committed relationship with your person. Some of you still are going to get engaged to your person, and some of you are going to be married. So there is going to be a step forward as opposed to the stagnancy that you were experiencing before. And if this is not a marriage word for you, this is a word letting you know that something that you've been waiting for, whether it involves your finances, a move, a career path, it is going to happen within a very short time. The time frame that I saw was within a few weeks to a month. Now, for some of you listening to this, that may seem entirely impossible. It may seem impossible because you're thinking, how? Given the details and the facts of my current situation, there is no way that within a few weeks to a month anything can change that drastically. Notice that she said, by the grace of God. That's what that woman with that calendar said. So know that this is not going to happen by your might or by your power. God is going to make this happen. This is going to happen by His grace. So again, take that back to the Lord. Make sure that it is for you and prepare yourself accordingly. Now, the Lord helped me to understand the meaning of the second scene as well. And He explained to me what His definition of abandoned is. Remember that this was an abandoned property that this person was looking at. And the Lord helped me to understand that to abandon something is to set it free, to release it, to relinquish the hold on it. And in this case, for it to go towards its rightful owner. Now remember that this person was looking at an abandoned property, something that had been set free, something that had been relinquished, something that had been let go, that was now vacant, and they were now able to move into it. Not only were they able to move into it, but it was marked as private property. In other words, even though it is vacant, even though there's no one here, even though it has been relinquished, even though it has been set free, not everybody can move up in there. Only the rightful owner can move up in there. Only the rightful owner can move into that place and occupy it and claim it as theirs. And so, for those of you whom this is for, the enemy has had a hold on something, or so he thinks, for quite some time. And that thing belongs to you. And now he has no choice but to relinquish his hold on it. He has no choice but to let it go. Now, what he did was that he got himself some agents. And some of these agents of the enemy, whether it was a person or it was a situation, they or it prevented you from accessing what was rightfully yours. The Lord is saying they have to let it go. They have to let it go. They have to relinquish it at this time. They can't hold on to it anymore. It has been set free and it is ready for you to move into it. Now notice that the property, it needed a coat of paint on the outside. So you may need to help this person rebuild to an extent. It's not that they're not ready. If it's a person or it's a situation, you may not, it's not that this thing or this person isn't ready for you. It's just that when you arrive at that location, you're going to have to help rebuild it or rebuild them. And God is going to be at the helm, so it's not going to be difficult for you to do. It's something that's achievable. And notice that this person, as they looked at it, said that it was in a prime position. That position was a good position. It was in a good area, close to everything, within close proximity to everything, easily accessible. And not just that, it was familiar. So for some of you, this means that you're accessing something that is already familiar to you. God has already told you that it's yours, so you know. You've just been waiting for the opportunity to move right on in. So I hope that this message bless someone. I love you guys. I will be back with another word as soon as the Lord releases me. Take care.